What is up, everybody? Stalky Storm here for yet another new game just released late last week, Dead or Alive 6. Just going to go through, give my thoughts on the game, on the various aspects of it. Doing it a little bit different than normal. Normally I sort of do the voiceover as I'm playing, but this time all the footage is pre-recorded because I wasn't initially planning on sort of doing the first impressions of this game. I was just going to release gameplay, but I've got so much good stuff to say about it that I've just decided to do a quick little voiceover as the gameplay goes about just how great this game has been so far. Those that know me know that I'm a big fan of the fighting genre. I generally get most games that come out. I get Mortal Kombat, Soul Caliburs, Dead or Alive. I have a quick crack at Street Fighter, but never really got into that one franchise. Killer Instinct, still one of my favourite games on the Xbox One. Very underrated. But we're here to talk about the new Dead or Alive 6. I'll start off with the graphics. Let's start with graphics. You expect nothing less from the team that create this game, that it is beautiful graphics. The first bit of gameplay here might look a bit blocky and a bit dodgy. My eyesight's not the clearest, but it's not looking too good the whole time here. That's not the game itself, that's more the connection, which I'll get into a bit later on, so don't be taking that. Wait until we get into about the second game, third game, where I had a bit of a better connection during those, because the footage is from ranked online, so it's not the actual story mode or anything like that. This is online on the network. So beautiful graphics, very smooth, all the character models look great, very true to their characters from previous games. The costumes look good. They're very colourful. They're sort of different than what they're usually. As you can see, Kasumi, as I'm playing her at the moment, it's got the bodysuit, sort of a detour from her normal getup, but it looks good. It all makes sort of sense. You got the way they move, the way they flow. It's sort of an addition to this game I've noticed is the character models actually take some damage as you get into the game. As you can see there, Kasumi's belly is exposed because the damage of the suit throughout the fight. I have noticed a few cuts and grazes also appear on characters' faces as they get beat up. Right, so it's a nice little addition. The level design, it's just a basic sort of Dead or Alive levels. A lot of how do you say, interaction with the level. As you can see there, I got belted into that car, another's kicked them into the car to do some extra damage. Very sort of close quarters, you can't get too far away from each other, but very colourful, very interactive. Got the moving characters in the back. That guy there actually shoves you back into the fight if you get pushed into him. That fire is looking quite good, and that's always a good sign of how the quality of graphics can be. It's fire. A lot of the time it looks a bit dodgy in games, but it looks very lifelike there. Yeah, you can just see the smoothness, the textures there, that close and look at that. When it goes in that slow mode, this looks fantastic. The way the body ripples on the hits and all of that. Yeah, so expect no less than great quality graphics from a Dead or Alive game. So to go along with the graphics, we will move on to the gameplay. As you can see, very smooth, very fast going. I'm still learning, so don't judge me please for the quality of my matches here. This would be less than 10. I think I just unlocked the play 10 ranked games achievement, which achievements are a great part of this game. They're nice and easy to get, but yeah, with the gameplay, very simple as always. Just one punch button, one kick button. You got your grab button, your counter button basically, and then you got sort of a couple how do you call it, sort of a special heavy button depending on the gauge as to whether you can do certain moves or not. So very simple to get the combos. One thing I have had an issue with in relation to the gameplay is the sensitivity of the thumbstick itself. I generally do lean towards using the D-pad, which made me realise that with my Elite control I might have to switch which type of D-pad, because I've just got the original plus sign button on there at the moment, but I might have to go to the more fighting one, because when using the thumbstick it does seem to register directions that you don't actually input. I was doing some of the training and I couldn't perform one of the moves or one of the combos, which is supposed to push up and then hit punch, then diagonal down. And I was doing that with the D-pad. I was being very cautious with what I hit, and for some reason it was still saying I was doing the opposite direction, down, forward type thing. So I wasn't really registering my movement inputs too well. But other than that, it does register your actual punches and kicks inputs very smoothly, very well. I'm very much a lover of quick, fast-paced fighters, and this is certainly that. As you can see, it is non-stop action. It's quick flurries of combos. Nothing too insane combo-wise, but you get those 5 to 10 hits in. You mix it up with your high-lows. Still adjusting to the counter system. I'm still very much back in the dark ages of the Dead or Alive 2, Dead or Alive 3 counter days, where you pretty much just press X at any stage and you'll counter, but now you've really got to try and time it a bit more and get the correct up, back, or diagonal down, and or forward as well, depending on the punch or kick. Sort of stuff as well. So yeah, the countering, you won't see too many counters from me. I am a very aggressive player. One thing I always say is the worst thing ever introduced into fighting games is the blocking and guarding. I just hate people, or it's normally the PC, the computer that does it, that sits there and just blocks. But I also hate people that just block continuously. As I think coming up, might be this fight or might be the next one. The opponent just blocked most of it, but there are ways around it. I adjusted, started doing low attacks only, and it broke their guard and stuff like that. But very enjoyable gameplay. I've already had a crack at all modes. They have the story mode, a quest mode, which is sort of hard to explain what that is. It's not really a story mode, it's just you get missions basically. You get 3 challenges per mission, and whether you achieve those missions, you get rewards, like unlocking things like titles or parts to costumes and stuff like that. From there you got your usual versus mode, your time trial mode, your survival mode. They're all just your basic sort of thing. Survival's just keep going for as long as you can. Time trial is you go through X amount of opponents in as fast a time as you possibly can. And then versus mode, obviously versus mode is just one-off fight, exhibition fight. And then the final game mode is the online ranked matches. So I'll move on to the ranked matches and the online features. Very basic, very simple. You choose that mode, you load up the menu for it, you select which character you want to play as, and then you search for an opponent. That easy. Nothing else, don't have to worry about any rule set or anything like that. I have had a bit of issue finding opponents. I think it may have been just the time of day that I tried to play. When I tried a bit later at night, closer to midnight, I was getting into games much quicker, and I was getting into games with people with much better connection. Because yeah, early on as well, the connection, I always seem to have this problem fighting games, never have good connection. So whether it's because you're always playing people overseas on foreign servers, where that affects it, but yeah, especially early on, I was having very bad connection issues. The game was very juddery and sort of stopping at stages, and I even got to a point where I had 4 to 5 matches finished, and I don't know necessarily it was me that had the bad connection or my opponent, because the game kept saying my opponent was disconnected from the game. So I never said I was disconnected. It was always the opponent. But whether it just says that or whether it was actually me. But yeah, I had 4 or 5 games in a row where after the first round, which I happen to always win, but that doesn't mean I always win the game. I just seem to be really good in the first round. It would then get disconnected, which was even more frustrating because if it was the opponent being disconnected, I wasn't getting the XP or the stats for that fight. It was just wiped completely. Like, you know, there's the achievement to play 10 ranked games. I'd played over 10 technically, but because of the disconnections, I didn't get that achievement until later on. I wasn't leveling up with my character or anything like that, so I was getting a bit frustrated with that. So I jumped into story mode for a bit from that, and then jumped back in. As I said later on, closer to midnight, and I was getting much better connection. I was getting full games out, and I was actually starting to get wins. Had a few good clutch moments. Had one guy just wipe the floor with me. I got a bit confident, thought, yep, I'm onto this now, I've got it sorted. But he sort of wiped me pretty easy. Usually, we had 2 back-to-back matches. He beat me 3-1, 3-1 both times. But yeah, so yeah, that's sort of going. The story mode, very confusing at the moment. You sort of unlock things as you go. It's very weird. I don't know if there's an actual sort of timeline I'm supposed to follow, or you just select it all and just got to piece it together. So it's not my favourite sort of story mode, but it is. The story itself is actually a bit interesting as I sort of figure it out, but I just sort of don't like the way it's presented to you. But yeah, so with that, we're getting sort of close to the end here. I think it's the last match. So yeah, big thumbs up from me. Loving Dead or Alive. Great game, great franchise as always. As you can see, Kasumi's still my favourite. I absolutely love her. And the way they've represented her in this game is great. And yeah, it's just an absolutely enjoyable fighting game. Very quick paced. You'll be seeing a lot more videos of this because I'm actually enjoying the ranked, which is very rare for me to do, to get in and play ranked games. But no, I'm enjoying this one. Very good, very beautiful looking, very smooth playing, other than that little issue with the thumbsticks and the controls. But yeah, I definitely recommend you go out and get your hands on it. But with that, Stalky Storm out. See you next time.